Welcome back there, friends and family. We're jumping into map number 2 here, as Luminosity had a whale of a time versus T1 in the first one to the tune of a 13-4 on Bind. Ascent is going to be up next on my whole shift. With me is Avril. And just really briefly, again, just taking a look across all the other things that are happening in the round of 16. Another big upset potentially on the rise here is Complexity was able to take the first map versus Envy. A lot of other matches are going on, and you can catch the coverage across all of our other community broadcasters that have been doing an excellent job putting on incredible commentary and broadcasts across all the matches possible for you guys. Exclamation point streams will get there. Beyond that, we talked about how Renegades had taken the first map versus TSM in the round of 16. TSM was able to bounce back that series going to map 3. But for this one, Avril, we're going to Ascent for map number 2 here for us.
Yeah, we are expecting a lot from T1 here. They did drop Bind, unfortunately only picked up 4 rounds there, so well done to Luminosity for having a commanding lead. However, moving into this map, it is going to be T1's map pick. Let's actually take a look at the stats first of all before we move too far forward. A couple things to maybe speak about here is, yeah, obviously when you've only won 4 rounds, the players on T1 are not going to have the greatest stats here. You know, no player got above 200 average combat score here. Most of the players got above average combat score 200 here for the side of Luminosity, especially Stellar at 286, top fragging 18-7 as well.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those things that this was a very uncharacteristic performance from Spider. You know, statistically, when we saw them play at the Renegades Invitational, he was top of the stats list, pretty much, at least top 3, if not top 5, as far as what he was able to do for not just ACS, but overall kill-death ratio, but not a great map for him there. So looking for a big bounce back from players like him and Ska going into Ascent. And it will be, I believe, LG starting off defensively, in which they've been a little bit 50-50 when it comes to how they historically have played. They have, again, been really, really successful offensively in the past, but the big question and consideration is the fact that Venerated not playing tonight, not sure on why, but Mata filling in for this entire tournament so far has done very well. So what will come forward as far as LG in that consideration?
So Thief is actually going to go Reyna here. I had looked at some stats for Luminosity. They typically do play Breach, so this is a little bit different. For T1, you are going to see the Skadoodle Jet coming on through, so it did kind of hint at that when we entered Bind, or exited Bind, I should probably say. The Skadoodle was going to bring through a Jet. I'd like to see what he brings to the table in terms of the Jet today.
Brax actually tossed in very early Trapwire over to B main. That was dealt with quickly. LG just holding on to 2 over towards the B zone. Proto's going to use the spy cam to defend middle, and T1's going to full stack with the exception of 1. Daze is going to try to make some noise over to A, keep this defense planted. And this timing of this could be great. He needs to keep his life, though, realizes it. And, oh, my goodness. He actually gets the kill into KZ. That's a bounce pass up to the top side of heaven. So now T1 with numbers will try to dash on in. Proto, good trigger discipline. He takes down 2. Incredibly done. Mata on the site tagged up, but shared some damage for T1's consideration. And now all of a sudden, LG is in a really good spot to be able to help out Mata quickly. But on the entrance, Brax does find a kill, leading to a 3v2 for T1. Up top, though, LG, they're starting to make their way in, and it's going to be down just to Stellar for a 1v2. Gets the information on Spider, who's trying to play his life, wait for a little bit of help, but now a 1v1 comes out. Dazed has the spike picked up. Not a lot of time to allow him to back up to A, so he's got to stick for this fight, and Stellar doubles up in his own right. LG holds on somehow, some way.
I'm going to be honest there, impressive by Stellar, but at the same time, an unnecessary risk. There was about 15 seconds remaining there. Stellar does not have to go for that swing. He can choose to just hide into the back of sight, force the plant to come through from Dazed, and then swing as that happens, or at least just wait the timer out. He could definitely have, I think at a macro level, considered the other options there, but does swing through, forces the 1v1, and it could go either way, but the shots do come through, and Dazed, unfortunately, will fall, so T1 are not going to pick up the pistol, I think, yet again. I don't believe T1 picked up many pistols in that opening Bind map. I'll have a look back as we head into the second round now. Did see a Marshal get picked up. So let's see what Luminosity do with that.
Spider with the Stinger, looking to play through A arches. Ultimate Orb will be collected. Spike left over towards spawn. Aldrone looking to scout things out. Thief is going to stay concealed. And on the opposite side of the map, Brax has found first blood on the way into B. Again, the spike is not here. So if Thief could find a pick or just information of how many members are over here, I would love to have seen what happened right in that moment, but Daze finds the elimination, and yeah, Brax is just going to lurk here, just trying to make noise and see if he can keep the defense planted, and the spike will now be collected and likely head its way over to A.
Stellar for 1 there, through the smoke. Just trying to even the numbers up a little bit. Because the spike hasn't been planted, there's still room for LG to maneuver here. Look at this big push up from B side as well. Proto finds that mid-map onto Skadoodle, makes it a 3v3, and forces T1 to reconsider their options as well. Another 1v1 here. Both ciphers. That's a gun barrel. That will betray Brax, a Proto for a second kill. That puts Luminosity now in 3v2 position. And T1, despite having some early frags, some early pressure, getting feet down early, doesn't work out that well. Proto maybe getting a little bit too frisky there as he walks into Dazed.
Revealing area.
But they know the information that this is going to be a B hit now. Not a lot of time left. You're going to get the Hunter's Fury charged off this Ultimate Orb collection from Dazed. KZ, Marshall in hand, looking for the peek. Misses the flick shot, but Stellar for one. Now the last player, AZK, down low and in the middle. Stellar up top, not going to be able to read this. AZK is going to get aggressive, but time is a problem, and you already heard the tailwind. Just dashing out of the way is going to be Luminosity, and again, somehow, some way, they clutch up around.
I mean, that was a round that Luminosity should have won, all things considered. That was their anti-eco. They kept the Marshall. Probably not the best gun walking to the next one, but it's something to work with here. For T1, I think T1 made it very competitive. In terms of an eco, this is where you have to look at from T1's POV, where they're not favored to win this round. Technically they forced into it. So, I'll retract this statement. T1 forced into it, so it doesn't feel comfortable for them either. They're going to go for another potential force here. They've got a lot of heavy armor. They have Spectres in play, a Stinger in play as well. So both teams are just going to try and counterforce each other as much as possible.
This is a big round. If Luminosity finds a way to go 3-0 early off of a force fly from T1 once more, I mean, you're going to be looking at round 5 before you could probably full purchase again if you're T1. And Mata able to find another elimination behind this very aggressive hit from T1 to B, and you've got Spider who's trapped mid-map behind his own dark cover. Not really an option for him to do besides just hold his ground and hope he can at least find one kill, but that's a trade that you're okay with if you're LG. Marshall comes through. Spider still hearing a lot of sound, but now over towards the spike site, it's Proto for one. Spider going to try to challenge through. He'll find one kill, but Stellar there, like I mentioned, for the trade. So LG survive with 3. They're 3-0 up, and now T1 is going to be forced to save.
I mean, at some point, the bank is going to be broken with T1. They are actually getting max loss bonus, so they can consider options here. Maybe AZK goes for a hero rifle. There it is. Got enough money for a second hero rifle for Skadoodle. The rest of them, okay, it's just going to be rifles about, apparently. Everyone's just going to try as much as they can. I mean, I don't necessarily hate it, but what is going to happen is eventually, if Luminosity keep winning, they're going to have better and better equipment. They will have 5 rifles, full armor, full utility. And T1 are just going to keep on losing money. What they are going to be able to do now is still have a reasonable chance of making the fight happen. Looking over towards the LG side of things, they don't have full rifles yet. They're still using a Marshall.
There's a part of me that wants to say that this is almost borderline disrespectful for LG. I mean, light buy, I should clarify, I said save, and really, again, by that, I mean, like, you should be able to light buy going into this next round, not necessarily a pistol save, but they're forcing up broken buys round after round after round, and LG, meanwhile, will be able to find a way to start steadily building over.
Oh, no.
This is tough. No, Stellar has to get away. And, oh, boy, that was tight. Aftershock nearly gets the kill. Hunter's Fury now coming through for T1, trying to get through blindly. Thief is going to play forward into the dark cover. Stellar here with him. And for T1, they're not going to commit yet, but they're still in another very early 4v5 situation they have to work through.
I mean, as we slow down here, as it looks like AZK's backing out with teammates there, Spider to follow. To speak on what you just mentioned there, at some point, T1 may want to just go for forces as long as possible, but it will break them. It is going to force a situation where they're going to have to, either continue forcing where it'll all be broken buys, not full armors. They have to look at bulldogs,
30
stuff
seconds
like
left.
that. And they'll keep losing rounds that way, and it will cost them. So at some point, they'll have to address the options. At some point, though, this might actually end up working. It could be this round. They can still bring it back. They're currently moving through tree. KZ will see this one, but only on the Marshall, so can't get a nice headshot kill. 11 HP as well. Has to back up. Look at time, though. 12 seconds now.
Proto does well to find one kill. Here comes the hit coming through. Thief. He goes for the overheal, not to dismiss, and that will punish, but now the time. A problem. Can you get this plant down? AZK up top will fall, and another round for LG, and another round where T1, what are you going to do with your economy? You cannot continue, in my mind, to keep going into these quasi-forced broken buys, but once again, AZK will commit to a full-on Vandal with light armor and $0 remaining.
I will say, if they go for one hero rifle, that's reasonable. That's within reason. This is now going to be T1 pulling back a little bit more. You see over towards the LG side of things, they will have full rifles. So I did mention, you know, if you do keep forcing, despite LG taking losses, they've been dying these rounds as well. They are having to repurchase, but because they get better money bonuses in terms of 3K versus 2.9 and also keeping guns alive, they're going to be in a better spot. Thief. Don't get to do too much there. Empress is available, by the way. Probably won't use it here, though.
I hate to speak this in the universe. You just kind of wonder that has T1 essentially said, hey, we know we're on a big stream. Let's not give away too many strats and just kind of run at people and see if we just get wins because they're already qualified. But I can't imagine a world that they would just throw away the opportunity for this kind of practice to do that. But I don't know, man. This has been so puzzling to see how these first 4 rounds have played out.
You definitely don't want to say that with these players on this roster, by the way. Anyway, T1 being through with their numbers still roughly alive, but not for too much longer. Just a 2 there, and that's going to be it. 4 for Luminosity still up. Minimal repurchase, and this is going to be the proper gun round. Now that T1 finally did save on number 5, they're going to go for the actual gun round. 5 ultimates, and this has been worth banking up for them, so Rolling Thunder is going to be pretty massive here. Luminosity don't have a breach of their own. Obviously, because with Marta on this roster, something I just realized, but Venerated used to be the Sova player on this team. So with Marta in here, Stella used to be the breach player. Stella's moved over towards Sova. And now you have Thief over towards the Duelist, and they've just kind of changed up their compositions based on those players.
I'm actually really happy to see Thief picking up a Duelist, though, because with this LG team historically, he's been one of the top participants in the kill feed. Historically, as we've seen them kind of form this LG roster together. So it's definitely refreshing to see him play a Duelist and find success with it. A couple of different teams have tried doing the same thing when you've got a Sova or you've got a Cypher that are absolutely massive players when they're able to find kills so quickly that you put them on an Omen, you put them on a Duelist. And a lot of information, like you call it, out of the spy camp. Middle of the map completely compromised here for LG. And with that, they'll push one member through A. The other 2 will track backwards over to the mid. And T1 are on their way to start making a hit over towards B.
Market Cage not popped just yet, though. Rolling Thunder being committed into 12 very quickly. Skadoodle's deep, trying to follow up, gets the damage, gets the kill, maybe a second one. Just one knife so far. Right click will refresh all the knives. And now T1 are on site. They should be able to get a plant. And LG have to think about the situation. Does Thief go for the Empress? It is a 2v3. They want to make this clutch happen. You'd have to think about it. Brax up for a potential 1v1. The Lair is there. The overheal as well.
2v2. KZ, Operator, gonna try to hold down the arches. We'll swap that out now for a rifle. Sidestepping the Paranoia, just a touch here is Thief. Spider from on top of the site is gonna be spammed through the boathouse. Now Ska trying to very, very well use these blades. He locks down the headshot. Ska for 2. 4 total in the round and T1 on the board.
And he nearly didn't get the refresh on the knives either. Had to find that kill. Over towards the stair side on a Proto, goes to the back side, the plant's there. The 2v2 looks so winnable for LG, but finally T1 looking towards a proper gun round. Skadoodle comes up big time, the ultimates are expended, the Rolling Thunder looks good. Skadoodle instantly follows up onto that one. And he's going to get the Impact Player Award that doesn't exist, but I'll give it to him anyway for that round number 6 as we head into 7 now. So plenty of ults available for the side of LG. Guns is available as well. KZ looking towards the Operator. Might be able to get an early kill.
Thief, this is a tough fight for him. He's flash paranoid and doesn't have an angle to really lock things down. Spider will punish. So the Empress off the table for LG. And now as Proto falls and Skadoodle finds an elimination, this is a great opportunity for T1 to aggress onto the A site. KZ, the only player left alive, has the plane surf, he feels the pressure and doesn't want to use the Operator, but T1 are actually going to flex this spike back over to B. And it looks like this should be a pretty free plan for them.
Yeah, I don't know what KZ wants to do here. Holding on to the Operator would probably be the best thing, but it's about a minute and so to play with currently, and he will get hunted down. Skadoodle is hovering around defensive spawn right now. Spider's coming from the other side. The plant is coming through. KZ's nowhere near B. Probably will not be going anywhere near B. It should be a 1v1 between the 2 Jet players, and how patient is Skadoodle? Knows that this is exactly where KZ will come from if he comes at all. Spider, in the meantime, still on a mission.
Just comes down to KZ holding this. And you mentioned the point of contact potentially between both jets, but Spider is also looking to push forward. T1's gotten their economy back into healthy position, so they can try to aggress onto this position. And you're starting to see, here comes the surround.
Here we go.
No real exit at all for KZ, and Spider from topside glass will find the easy kill.
Fires a bit of a tingle in the spider web, catches a fly, and there it is. T1 gets their second round in a row. And by the way, I have seen, I'm not super common, but I've definitely seen halves where it's 5 rounds in a row, and a team that's 0-5 down can definitely make a bit of a comeback in that same half. So this is where it starts, because T1 are forcing up, well, I say forcing up, they're forcing Luminosity into a pistol eco minus the Guardian from Mata. And operator in the hands of Skadoodle now as well. Spider picked that one up, puts it in his hands. So T1 have their equipment decked out. We're in a bit of a pause right now, just for your information. So T1 in a position to pick up a third round as we head into round number 8. And then after that, the potential for T1 to start to even things up. Even if LG hits 6, I do believe T1 should be able to finish this half based on momentum now. I would say at least 5 rounds to 7, if not potentially getting 6 and 6.
But it's got to start here, though. I mean, you need to get this third one. You're going to have KZ on the Blade Storm. You've got the Guardian for Mata, 2 Sheriffs in play, 5 ultimates that could potentially come out. So the potential of Luminosity still stealing away this round is not 0. I'll say that much. But it just comes down to you have to confirm this round if you're T1. And even better if you can do it cleanly. Start to chip away at some of these ultimates if possible and give yourself a more of an advantage. Again, you take a look at their economy after purchasing. They're in a fine spot leading into the next round as well. But if you can get this one off clean, that's not just round number 8 coming up. That's round 9 and even maybe round 10 that you can be able to convincingly buy out with no problem.
Yeah, for sure. I think at this stage of the game, though, Luminosity won't use these ultimates unless they can get some opening kills. This is why, actually, I really agree with the hero buy. It's not going to be like a massive hero buy onto like a, a Vandal or Phantom, but the Guardian can get the ball rolling. If you can get something done with the Guardian, drop a couple of guns. Even if you force up a 3v3 situation, pick up a couple of guns on your side, still keep the Guardian alive. You start to really lean into the ultimates a little bit more. We are finally unpaused now. So see how Luminosity want to open the gate onto this one. KZ pops the Blaze Storm right away.
And they're going to clear out this angle over towards A long, and this is not atypical for KZ. He likes to push forward with the Blade Storm, but he'll think about it as he hears the Aldrin trying to scout him out. He'll back down. So Dazed will clear the angle just a touch. Not find any information, though. And now I'm just curious if KZ will continue to push forward. He's going to give this a go. And if he gets this kill, that's a weapon that's going to be picked up for his squad mates. He's going to see the player up top. This is an easy kill. That's a weapon down, immediately retrieved, and now all of a sudden LG in a much better spot. Yep, and that's exactly the case. It looks like he has dropped it. Yep.
T1 now, dropping a member early. Great play by KZ. Sees the head very quickly of Dazed. Dazed indeed, straight to the noggin there. Massive stack over towards mid. This is where LG might want to lean into more ultimates because they have technically got 2 guns and a Blade Storm now. That's 3 workable players in terms of equipment.
Middle of the map completely compromised, but KZ will float around and see that really nobody was pushed too far forward. Ska, though, with the operator, always a threat. Takes down Mata. That's actually inside the B site.
30 seconds left.
30 seconds, and the spike is rotating back over to Tree. And Thief, if he can find the timing to pop an Empress, it would be massive. Has Brax seen his weapon, though, is the question. Brax is starting to make his way forward. Does not seem like he knows that Thief is here. So he's going to pop on out. Nice first kill. In a second, he's able to get a dismiss coming through and back up into the site. Now down to the 10 seconds, and KZ's found another kill. Spider, though, from the shadows finds one elimination, but he's in a 1v3, and there's not enough time to plant. Luminosity steal away another round. Spider sure have fun with the double kill, but a thrifty round confirmed, and Proto cleans it up.
And unfortunately for Spider, he goes for the teleport play just as the timing push comes through from Thief. He swings around, gets 2, they're both blinded, and that's the play that wins LG the round. I mean, it also starts with KZ. You have to look at where KZ begins that round and look at how Thief ends it. You put the gun in Thief's hands, feels the situation, doesn't want to Empress because it would give away his location. In that sort of moment, I do agree, not using the Empress is ideal. But for LG there, they lose one member, but keep it alive, keep it going strong. So the dream of T1 maybe ending 6 and 6 or 5 and 7 starting to slip away.
And Proto finds one. AZK very fortunately gets the trade. As once again, T1 keeping the gas pedal down, but the car is driving a bit out of control at the moment. Mata from the back stairs. Emperor's going to be popped. Flashpoint comes out. Mata, no chance to respond to that whatsoever. Brax for 2. Spider, another one. Now it's just down to Thief. Emperor shut down in place. T1's aggression starts to recenter itself, and now they find themselves just down 3.
very important comeback there. You can sort of swap the rounds around. You could say that, okay, well, T1 was supposed to win that previous round. They do win this one, where it's far more even. So, yeah, at the end of the day, we kind of reset back to normal here. Luminosity do get their 6, but for T1, one back as well. LG, look at their buy situation, though. I think 2 players might not be able to fully afford here. There won't be a Blade Storm either. Empress is used, so it's not like you can funnel Thief with a gun this time around. It's going to end up being a hero rifle for Proto. And to be fair, he has been the highest performing member, at least in terms of KD, so maybe that works out for them. But T1 have another opportunity here. If we want to see that 6 and 6, T1 have to win this round.
And there is no Blade Storm this time for Luminosity to try to bolster the back end of this pistol upgrade round. Thief, he matched up with KZ. Paranoia comes out, but the kills are not there to find. T1 take down the first 2. Spike is not here for this potential hit. Flashpoint still comes out. Stellar will keep his life. Aldro now going to try to scout things out. Proto up top. Okay, Stellar going rogue a little bit right there. He does get one. Mata, if he can find another, would give themselves a chance at this, but now it's out of Proto for a 1v4.
Proto's unknown. I say that as he does swing through, does get a kill into Daze as well. T1 still have to plant at some stage. Excellent flash coming through from Spider just to slow things down, and T1 are not going to go for this one over towards A. They don't need to. Proto might go for the 1v1 here, finds that kill. Will now have to try and fight a 1v2 clutch as the spike will get planted momentarily. There's a bit of time though. It's going to be a late one. Nerf Theft is going to confirm it. I don't know that you want to use the Nerf Theft now because, I mean, what information are you really looking for? You know it's going to be B. The only thing you don't know is potentially where Brax was, because you know Skadoodle's definitely there, so because I guess confirm that Brax is also on site, but I think that was a fair assumption you can make anyway. Oh, that's unfortunate.
That's super unfortunate. Proto now has to commit to pushing through B main. There's a camera there as well. Hurdling more obstacles than a track runner right now. Proto trying to work his way in is going to be allowed to peek for a moment, but Brax is holding the easy angle to the backside hallway. Will find the headshot in T1. Now all of a sudden threatening on a potential 6-6, but they get through the expected round, and let's be honest, there's a handful of repurchases that have to come through as Luminosity kept it close. Yeah,
let's not, get the conversation out of the fact that the 5-7 could be there as well. I don't think 5-7 would be the worst. Considering that 0-5 start, a 5-7 you would consider to be a bit of a bounce back for this half as well. But T1 have plenty to work with here. They banked up another 4 massive ultimates. The only one missing there is Brax, and, well, the Neural Theft is a little bit average at the best of times, so you don't mind that one not quite being there just yet. T1 can maybe win this one with ultimates, force Luminosity to go into a really awkward force buy for the last round and a half, and then T1 can get the 6-6 that way.
Ska's going to try to threaten over towards B main. Rolling Thunder, Double Hunter's Fury is coming through. Daze will find the first, but Mata's getting a lot of information and was able to tag up one player relatively low, but still a tilt in favor of T1. Skadoodle already on the site. Spike coming up behind this, and Mata will keep things even. 4v4 we go as he finds elimination for the backside of his spawn.
Spike planted.
Plant's going to come through now very quickly. 4v4 still there. I believe there should be plenty of util. They got flashes via Thief coming on in. Yeah, double layers are available. Full HP as well. Mata to do the scouting early. They should take control of boat and work their way in. Excellent lair, but Skadoodle still finds the kill.
Ska's been great with this Blade Storm so far. Stellar, though, still keeping things even. Daze with the trade. Mata trying to transfer. Doesn't get the second, but AZK is brought down to a single bullet. The fault line well placed. Can Daze take advantage of this, though? He's still just hiding in his dark cover. That was a free kill onto Stellar. And now all of a sudden, as the Aldrone comes through, he's going to have to try to take this challenge coming out. Should know that the players in the back, but the time, like you mentioned, becoming a consideration, and Dazed with 3 will make sure that T1 have a realistic chance at bringing this half back somehow. Looking to make it 6-6 would be a great opportunity to do it.
Possible mistake there for Stellar. Maybe should have just gone for AZK on site first. I mean, if you kill the guy off site, you still have to deal the guy on site to actually win, and there's no more time. You have to feel the time was running out there. So the only real out is, just, I guess, survive against the Aldrone. It's an Aldrone, it'll tag you. You have to accept that fact. You go for the play versus AZK, who was low, then tap the spike, then hope, at that moment, that's when Daze starts running towards you. You can maybe find a 1v1 versus him and start to play from there. But now we're going to go into the actual force fight from LG. KZ dives in early. Going to find much Spider on the right side. It's going to go down.
He finds one elimination, is trying to stay alive through the spam. And how about this? On the other side of the map, Proto takes down a 1v1 with the Sheriff onto his counterpart Brax. So now numbers for Luminosity. One weapon likely going to be collected here for the side of KZ. So an opportunity Absolutely, for Luminosity to still salvage a 7-5 half, you've got Proto on the long wraparound, and T1 are not even paying attention to this whatsoever.
Proto can get a 1-for-1 here for sure. Maybe even a 2-for-1. There's still an operator alive for T1. They're going to slowly work up. That's working in a Proto's favor. No one's even checking behind.
Can you see the gun?
Are they? Daze? Yep, Daze has got that one. Nice. That's going to stop them from bleeding out another member. It's 3-3 now. LG have to consider their options. You can start seeing members moving around. Mara's going to check towards top mid. You have even Stella going towards mid and market themselves as well. They are feeling the potential for T1 to rotate towards B, but T1 definitely look like they want to commit A.
30 seconds left.
Well, 30 seconds. Dazed is going all the way over to B just to bait out a recon bolt saying, hey, this is where we're coming. But how about Luminosity? They haven't given up the A site completely yet. So now it's going to be essentially a 2v2 on site. Big kill across the middle of the map for Dazed off screen. Now KZ. We'll see one come through.
10
Beautiful
seconds
trigger
left.
discipline. Finds the first kill. 2v2 we go. Now there's not a lot of time. Skadoodle had the spike. He wanted the operator for the kill. And now there's no time to plant. Dazed is going to try to flush out one. He gets the kill, but there's not enough time.
That was a really interesting round. So many interesting things coming through there. Daze initially finds the kill onto a Proto to make sure they weren't going to get backstabbed from the back end. The massive flank from Proto, the Cypher player. Check out the instant replay. Courtesy of Go Puff here. This was somewhat very early round. Remember, this was when 5-0 was found by LG. Proto for 3 kills. Very big cleanup. We didn't get the round wins coming through from T1 until this point on with Skadoodle. Massive kills. Gets the Blaze on reset onto a Proto. Hides into backside and gets a double kill a little bit later on as well. Another massive round coming through on the LG side of things. Great timing. You see that Spider at that exact moment was going from the Shadows play. Possibly could have gotten the kill on the Thief, but didn't quite have the read on where Thief was. So interesting half, interesting last round as well. It just goes quite back and forth. Credit Stella for holding sights on towards B, knowing that the fake wasn't towards B, and allowing the rest of the 2 players alive for LG to hold on towards A, and all Stella's down early.
Big pistol from Dazed. AZK is here with him in the middle of the map. And LG wanting to threaten the middle of the map will be stalled for just a time. 4v5 that they have to work with for the rest of this round. And KZ might be the one that needs to find a bounce back kill if they want to try to keep this threat open in the middle of the map. AZK in the corner. Shots now coming through. And KZ's going to realize there's a player here. Flashpoint comes out. Oh my goodness, KZ just completely bamboozled him. Flashes right out, but Tailwind's beyond it. Daze will find the trade. And T1 will still hold numbers. 4v3 Paranoia through the middle of the map. Skadoodle on top of the B site will be trusted to hold on to things, but as help is quickly coming, kills are following with it. And Ska, good patience, able to lock down Proto. Last one left is Mata in a 1v4 situation. And here come the troops. No chance there whatsoever. T1 take the pistol.
Mata faces the fire line there, and despite the heroics coming through from KZ the Jet, completely outplaying AZK in the flash scenario. Excellent turnaround. The 180 flick on the headshot was so nice to see. However, Stella does go down quite early today, so it was a 5v4 that they tried to bring numbers back towards. They just lose a bit too much there. And T1 do finally win a pistol, by the way. The stats for the pistols have so far been across the 2 maps that LG have won 3 out of the 4 pistols, and T1 finally do pick one up.
4 spy coming through for LG. This looked like for a moment there, I'm seeing a lot of pistols still being held, but it looked like there were a couple of SMGs that were picked up as well.
3
May have been
sheriff,
swapped to. Yeah, okay, so a little bit of a 4 spy coming through. T1 giving up the B site, at least sort of. 2 members are stacked mid-market. There is potential for them to easily rotate in. Dark cover going to come through, though. Thief is already trying to get out, but Skadoodle finds one. Cyber Cage that gets placed with block line of sight, but at least you're able to find first blood if you're T1 defensively.
Still 5 alive for T1 right now. Very low HP on the Cypher player Proto. They have sight control. Proto's very, very tightly tucked in over towards this angle. Sheriff maybe not the ideal weapon for the situation, but the Aldrone will at least reveal some information. Aldrone spots him as well. He has to swing, but he will go down. Again, minimal HP, minimal loss there. It is a 3v5. LG need to get a return trade very quickly.
Is he lucky to be alive? A shock dart was going to be his doom, but now you've got the Ares on hand for Dazed. And as AZK and Skadoodle are able to find 2 kills behind this, T1 will get a flawless defensive round with the defusal. And another risk coming out after losing the pistol, this time from LG's perspective, and it doesn't pay off for him.
I do wonder, you know, maybe you have a situation where Proto isn't that far up. You have a situation where someone on site is holding a crossfire angle, some sort of angle with them. They can shoot the L drone. If the L drone sees a Proto, it's all over. He has to try and swing with the Sheriff, and that's not the ideal weapon. You gotta keep 3 Sheriffs alive, though. You won't call this one a force for Luminosity, but you will say it's a kind of minimum buy for them to enable their final purchase, because they did kind of force in that last one. That wasn't a bonus. That didn't end up being a situation where they can save up for the 3rd round buy for the guns. That does allow now T1 to be in a comfortable position and an early operator purchase for Scar.
And Scott might be able to find use of this pretty quickly here. Has the Sheriff as a secondary, and the spam shots through the wall take down Dazed. Thief also finding a kill mid-map. Now all of a sudden, Scott has to give up the operator. He's got to toggle between that and the Ares. And he's going to need
Just
help.
getting rid of the gun.
Yeah.
Just wants to juggle that one away, make sure there's no aggression. Speaking of aggression, look towards mid-map right now. Thief is fairly deep onto Pizza, unknown. Or maybe he is, no, because he got a kill there. Probably has a gun as well if he's pushed in. He hasn't pushed in, respecting that someone could be watching the angle, so still just working with pistols for now. But this is dangerous for T1 because they've been out-rotated. Their defaults are kind of screwed at the moment. There it is. They know they're on A. This is where they have to converge, but Thief is still in a great spot.
Yeah, Thief, he needs to be in this position here to watch this kill come from the middle of the map. It's him versus Ska, pistol on pistol, and Ska turns away at the exact wrong moment. Spider will pick up the trade, and now you're taking a look at Brax. He's in the backside through A long. He could potentially pinch, but based on the lack of pressure that T1 are showing defensively, it looks like they're going to give this round away, maybe just play for exits.
Yeah, this has been a really awkward round for T1, unfortunately. They just lose so many players early, the spam through the walls. Thief over towards mid as well. Thief even getting the kill onto Scar, who turns around at the wrong time. Like you mentioned, there at least Spider trades, but it ends up being the only kill. T1 only get that one. T1, Brax, up for a potential another. One more ahead of him as well. Can't quite find the kill. No more bullets. Frenzy being pulled out. It's enough to get martyred down. 2-2 now. T1 are not going to be able to walk away with the win for that round, but they will at least prevent Luminosity from getting too many guns into the next.
Still, it's a thrifty round offensively, which is going to mean good things overall for LG. Even though the 2 exit kills are nice to kind of salvage it in some way for T1, the cash will be just fine for everybody to repurchase back up without real any consideration. So we've got a full gun round coming through here, 4th one in the half. 8-7 the current tally is LG have done well in the past, like you mentioned on Vine. They were getting the spike down almost every single round, and such has been the case so far with the exception of the first pistol.
By the way, Spider lived there and actually got the operator back into Scar's hand. So they have that plus the Odin now on Daze. So in terms of equipment value, the fact that Brax and Spider get away with their lives and money available as well, guns in the hands, they actually walk into this round fairly well equipped. AZK doesn't have full armor. Again, Breach has to buy a lot of utility here. Other than that, we're looking fine. KZ, what can you do on the knives here? Blaze pulled out. We've seen that Skadoodle does a lot. KZ, let's go. Here's the dive.
Spider finds one. Thief, though, responds immediately. Still in the sight. Has the potential of an Empress to come out. He's going to easily use this, but AZK, meanwhile, has found 1 kill. But Thief for 3. Working on a potential ace. Up top, he finds the number 4. Can he get the 5th? The Aldrone should scout out the information. There's the tag off the dart. And number 5 will elude him. Dazed for 1. Still possible here for the 1v3, but Proto will lock down the angle and make sure things don't get too dicey. LG in the backhand of Thief, again, recently swapping into the duelist role, find a way to bounce back in a major way.
Massive 4 kills. That's what you want to see out of the Empress there. A very critical round where LG know that T1 have purchased again very heavily into this round, or, you know, not just the purchases, but the fact that they have committed to the Odin. They saved the operator over as well. They ended up saving 2 rifles, 2 guns. I should probably say from the previous round. Obviously, 1 ended up being that operator. So T1 needed that round. T1 needed that round to continue the economy. If they lose that round, obviously now that we can see they're going to go into the eco. LG don't bother picking up any of those guns. They don't want the operator. They do not want the Odin either. They're going to just walk into the round with the rifles available, and 9-7 the scoreline. T1 do have a Rolling Thunder, but because they're on an eco, I don't know that they'll use it.
LG again putting a lot of pressure in the middle of the map. 3 members circling around. KZ gonna updraft up top to see if he can find an angle on anyone who crosses over late. This is a really good spot for him to be at, as you're actually gonna be able to see all the way over into the spawn, and that's information. The spam shots are great, and Dazed will fall. That's gotta be a frustrating death for Dazed.
I mean, the good news is that if you can accept any silver lining, it's that T1 are probably not favored to win this round anyway. But any kills they get would be damage, slowing things down for LG. Pretty major stack up for T1 over towards defenders spawn right now. They're heading towards mid, they're heading towards markets. Thief is there, so is the rest of the team. Camera sees a lot.
Spider already through, and how about this? Him and Scott will combine for all three. And now all of a sudden the pistols have turned into ARs. Thief mid-map with Stellar. They're gonna find two somehow, someway. Where's the trade? Skadoodle has pushed through over to B main. Shrouded Step will come out. Scott catches just a pixel on Thief and is able to track through, and Brax will respond to the last. Goodness me. Never would in a million years would have expected that interaction to come through, but credit over to Spider and Skadoodle for finding three with pistols on the initial approach.
It's 5v4 where you lose days almost instantly there. T1 still had ultimates, and I thought, okay, if they start winning, that's where you want to see the ultimates coming on through. But no, AZK dies. They save everything between Scar and also Spider, like you mentioned there. They clutch on through. They just win it with pistols there. That's a nice, thrifty win. A one they probably shouldn't have gotten, but are happy to receive in this case. Back into the Operators, back into the Odin there for days as well, and still with 4 ultimates up. They are very much favored now to be able to continue the momentum.
Odin spam going over towards B main. Spider with the sniper rifle. Of course, you've talked about his Overwatch League history, most notably his presence on the Widow is where he brought his name to fruition, but Thief will find the kill. Operator now immediately gone off the table, and another 5v4 for LG to work with.
Can't hook shot away on Omen, sadly, and so T1, they do lose one early. They will have to play into the hunt, the Rolling Thunder and the Hunter's Fury. Both are available here. I mean, the only real way T1 get a massive advantage is either via opening picks off the Operator, which they don't get, or it's going to come through from Ultimate's Lair, followed by Cloudburst. Confirmed now there's at least 2 members of Luminosity heading towards A.
Well, Stellar is already throwing a lot of utility for maybe an approach through the main A archway to get onto the site. Aldron's going to scout things out. And AZK with Brax will have to hold strong here through Tree and Garden. Need to find this kill. Thief on the way in. He'll be taken care of. No chance for a trade. Neural Theft coming through. KZ gonna maybe give this a go, but he's also dealt with. So T1 do hold strong through Tree.
30
the
seconds
approach
left.
over to A becomes much more difficult, and it looks like they're just gonna back away, try to reflip this all the way back to B, but time will be a major issue. You still have Skadoodle holding defensively on the B site.
Yeah, he'll be there waiting for sure. I don't know they'll go back. They look like
Yeah,
they actually
it's
want to go
going
through
through
tree, but if they go through tree, they have to rush this one. They can't just walk. They have to get this come to Brax as well. Brax is being a real pain right
10
now. 11
seconds
seconds
left
left to go. And it does look like T1 are maybe just going to give this one. No, they're not. Hunter's Fury might get a kill. Yes, it does.
Timing. And he actually, I believe, connects on to Mata here at the end. So Mata down to 30 HP, not able to find the second kill, nor a chance at the third. So T1 brilliantly played off the Hunter's Fury for days. They'll do a little bit of weapon swapping as they see fit. And they'll tie the game up 9-9. A lot of extra life for T1 defensively.
Yeah, it's another really good round for T1 where, again, they do get the lead into some of the ultimates. The Neural Theft ends up actually being pretty huge, getting that initial kill into Thief. And Thief maybe not respecting that 2 players could be waiting on the other end. Thief was maybe hoping, thinking that there wasn't going to be a lot of presence over towards Glass, and well, there it was. 2 players waiting. Thief, no chance to get a kill and dismiss away. Instantly dies. Allows the Neural Theft to come on in. Forces KZ into a duel as well, which he loses. So LG just in a really weird spot. And AZK still has the Rolling Thunder, which is going to be useful the later we get. So actually dying and not using it ends up working out.
Blaze won't be used. This is from Ska, I believe, who, yeah, just
It
got
is.
really aggressive mid-map, tried for an opening pick. LG is fully stacked through A main. Spider, this would be the time to get to life with the Operator. He finds the first, TP's away, and the paranoia behind this. Brax off the trap wire, he finds 1 kill. Skadoodle another, and T1 don't even bend here on their hold towards A.
Eco coming through from Luminosity, so again, not expecting too much there. No one to really challenge. Spider getting an opening pick on the Operator. Like to see that one. And as we start heading to the tail end of this half as well, we finally have a lead coming in for T1. Again, look at how poor the situation was early on. 5 rounds in a row for LG. And now as we head to the second half, if we only look at the second half, it doesn't look too bad. 5-2 in favor of T1. Johnny just puts them 1 ahead right now on the total overall round score. We are into a bye again from LG, so if LG going to bounce back and get 10 on their board, they're going to need to do that on this round.
Enemy tagged.
Mata, a lot of information here at B. KZ is feeling frisky, and goodness, it pays off. Gets the first kill, and he turns around. Thief able to find one mid-map. So now it's down to
Stellar
Ska
ulted.
with an Odin. That from the shadows, like you mentioned, over towards B will allow Stellar into the site. But they know that Skadoodle is nearby. Just comes down to, can you get the isolated pick, and are you going to recognize that he has actually popped up the Odin? He finds one, goes for the secondary spam, but Mata will get the better of him, and now LG in a position to be up. Only 3-2, though, as Spider was able to pick up one player mid-map. But the spike will be planted, and this is going to be a very hard-pressed re-break coming through, as there's no ultimates available, and it just comes down to, can you even find a weapon to swap to here if you're Spider? You don't want the Operator, that's for sure.
I'm a little surprised if Proto doesn't go for the neural theft there. He has it available. There should be Scar's body on the ground as well. Would have revealed the position of the last two players. Maybe they're assuming that T1 are going to save, but I think T1 have the money to play for this, and certainly they do. Spider picks up Scar's, or somebody's Phantom there. Brax just checking the camera. They know there's someone around the corner there, and everybody comes through out of the shadows. A Proto appears from the smoke. LUMINOSITY will get the cleanup there, saving most of their ults. And for T1, that's just time to get to the stage now where, I mean, AZK needs to be alive so that they can retake with this hunt with the Rolling Thunder. That's something that's been missing so far for the defense. And the 10-10 is getting, you know, a little bit too close for comfort for T1, who only barely caught up now.
Yeah, I was about to say the exact same thing when it comes to needing this. I mean, again, LUMINOSITY, we just keep talking about, at least I keep talking about how successful they've been to get the spike down, and the retakes have been okay for T1, but when you got a tool like the Rolling Thunder, you really need to find a way to get that thing off. Scott will have the Operator in hand. You saw just nearby, it was Dazed with the Odin, and Spider's actually going to have an Operator of his own, so
yeah,
a very powerful setup defensively, but only if you can find a way to connect.
They don't have great sightlines now. Certainly no aggressive sightlines. Steve has been revealed. Oh my goodness, I think he got tagged by multiple sources there. Maybe the Operator as well. Skadoodle for a second. I say second as Days actually got that first one, but it was a combined effort, so you get to both of them. As we hit on through now, LG with only 3 alive, and it's not looking good.
Easy.
Yeah, Proto doesn't expect AZK to be up in B main. And what was a nice bounce back, a must-win round previously for LUMINOSITY, it's turned up into a spot where, well, they don't really find a way to convert off the potential momentum build. So now you're in a 2v5. Money will have to be a consideration as well. So do you really chow this? Looks like they're going to make it a go. Spider's nearby. Dark cover will come out. Blocks line of sight. Spider won't take the shot, but gets an angle anyways. Still finds the kill. Now to the classic. You spam. You've got help. Stellar's committed. He's stuck with the trap wire, and easy kill comes through. T1. 11-10, and if they could find a way to close this one out, we would see split for map number 3 to determine the winner.
This is a really strange few rounds that we've just seen. It's two, in terms of the back-to-back wins from T1, they're not actually back-to-back, but the two most recent wins have both been flawless wins. LUMINOSITY actually got their win in the middle of this 3-round block, and that ended up being, what was it, 4 alive? It ended up being a lot of players alive versus T1. So interesting that these are how the rounds have fallen so far. Very nice early picks coming through from T1. Again, Daze, Skadoodle, wallbanging through. Via being revealed by Recon. Spider got a number of picks there on the Operator. Double Operators are still alive on the team, obviously due to the flawless. So LG have to try and get past the double snipers somehow, and it looks like they're on pistols as well.
They've got ultimates to play with, specifically the Hunter's Fury that I'm kind of looking at to see if they're going to use that to try to enter into these sites. AZK right alongside Scott, KZ, Bladestorm. A couple of the rifles are a part of this potential hit. Clear comes through, Cloudburst as well. Fault line won't see anything. There's nothing in the sight. Here comes the retake off the Rolling Thunder. Doesn't really find much, but it does separate LUMINOSITY convincingly. But Thief is able to find one kill. Easily trading out KZ, but it's the Bladestorm down. Now Mata with the rifle, trying to challenge up the mid-market. Gonna maybe try to push up the stairs to try to give good consideration to Ska, but says, never mind, I'll just close the door in your face and we'll take this spike quite easily.
Scar's also considering the potential for a flank. No one's behind, obviously. They allow the plant to go through. Door is closed also. Thief has Empress plus Odin. That's going to be a lot of fire rate if he wants to go for that play. And more ultimates as well. The T1, think about reapproaching from either another angle, going for exits, or maybe just straight up saving, because if they want to go for exits, they want to post up one towards defender spawn, one market, one B main. But they're actually kind of just exiting right now. Looking over towards B main, hoping that LG exit in that direction. And it does seem like it will end up being a save. And LG are also going to be hitting B main. So, possible a number of kills coming through.
This is super risky. Ska finds the first. You got to get out if you're LG. There's no way you can just sit here and hope. One player will teleport across. Scott misses the secondary shot, but Brax for one. Not going to get the second. Thief finds the kill. And that will likely be the end of this conflict on the exit away from the spike site. But 11-11 we go. Taking a look over to our economy. Again, that was a broken buy for LG coming in, hoping that KZ could find value off the Blade Storm. But now that they've found a way to get the spike down and win it, they'll go into a full rifle round and still the double operator Odin setup for T1.
Mata doesn't really have the full armor coming on through. Thief ended up dropping that Oberdin for a rifle. Now, this is a very important round because you look at the ultimates available now. Thief still has Empress. This will be a good round for it if he wants to go into that. Skadoodle's one away from getting Blade Storm as well, so that could be very impressive. T1 holding more aggressive sight lanes now. Skadoodle potentially up for a kill, but the L-Drone will spot him out.
Again, Scott's actually holding a really tight angle here. The Paranoia able to come through. Will shrug Scott back. Thief looking to get on in. Has the Empress if they so choose. Scott's been tagged up by a dart, so they know exactly where he's positioned, but the question is, do they know where Dazed is? The one-way cyber cage will allow him an opportunity to spam as soon as the execute comes through. And there's also the flash that could come over mid-map from AZK playing for Market. The spam shots, they won't be able to break through the secondary portion of that wall. So now you go to the shock dart. That will connect nicely. The spam shots will eventually get the job done for First Blood. LG are going to back away.
And Mata, again, came into that one with only 25 armor, didn't have the heavy armor, so very vulnerable to being spammed through and shock darted, both of which definitely happened there for days. Luminosity now down one very early on. They've had no presence anywhere else on the map. Look at where the rest of T1 are. Spider looking over towards Glass Tree. Also Brax checking over towards A main. They know nothing's happened on A just yet. Spider will now need to try and hold on Skadoodle for another kill, and Spider should follow for an extra.
30 seconds left.
LG are just allowing these operators to be so oppressive. Spider will miss his first shot. Here comes the take. 3v5 situation. Defense starting to rotate over, but Spider's isolated and finally taken down. On the back is Brax. That's the big question sitting over towards Wine. And, well, LG will realize this. The problem is they're split focused, and Daze will find Proto pushing through Garden. Spike will come down just in the nick of time. Bladestorm going to be popped here for Skaz. He tries to take a jump angle over the top of the heaven railing. Stellar finds a big pickup here, so now it's down to AZK and Daze. So the Thief will make it a 1v1. The overheal doesn't get fully here, though. 1v1 with just 6 HP. The challenge comes out, and Daze will find 4 for the clutch. T1, they'll be on map point.
And Thief is not going to be happy about that situation. Doesn't get the full heal. If he had a little bit more HP, he could have survived against a right click from Daze. I don't believe it was a headshot. In fact, no headshot kill came through. So yeah, body shot versus 6 HP character. But that's just going to be a one shot regardless. So for Luminosity, they brought it close. Another very tight situation. Low numbers there. And Thief had a real opportunity, but sadly just did not have the HP to deal with the situation. Proto as well tried to go up Garden, tried to get up Glass, tried to go around the backside of Heaven, got killed very early. That could have been another frag that would have benefited LG. As we head into map point now for T1. They need to bring this one back again. They're down in the series. This is the best of 3. Splits next. T1 are 1 away from winning.
I mean, outside of the questionable buys in the first 5 rounds, T1 has looked great on this map so far, especially once they've been able to get operators online. I mean, this double operator setup has rarely been threatened. Another aggressive attempt to take over B main control for Luminosity will be successful, but it does cost a lot. Skadoodle, same angle he's played time and time again. He'll once again find another kill. Lear trying to come on through. Thief, though, still not going to push through this. When is the Empress going to get popped is the real question. You've also got Proto lurking mid-map as he swapped to his POV. He'll find one for free, and this lurking kill could be everything for LG to find success.
Proto's still there as well, possibly up for another, but his position should be spotted. Spider's looking now. Just keeping people busy. This allows LG to get onto site. There's only 2 players there. There is a bit of a tag from Daze as well. Proto taken down. Thief over onto Skadoodle. 3v3. Empress is in there.
Spike will go down. KZ up close and personal. Does he know that Daze is right around the corner? Defensively, you're still waiting for 2 more members for T1 to get even in the ballpark. They're still so far away, and this Empress might expire before the fight actually breaks out. So now you look your attention over towards KZ. He hears some players jumping. Now the Aldrin will be scouted out. That's a lot of information, though, for Daze plus the tag. Can he find a way to convert off the kill? He's going for the spam shots, but they don't fully connect. So now here's the full retake in their face. KZ down low. Has an opportunity for one. Thief from the side finds another last player left alive as Daze, and he can't respond to the final 2, and we've got ourselves an overtime.
Another overtime, 2 maps in a row now. I say 2 maps in a row. There was obviously that opening map that we cast between these 2 teams on buy, and I start to forget about it because it's so long ago. And it feels like it's a day's worth of different OTs. I don't even know who I would favor for this one. You have to look at where the rounds have been falling. It's that 5 at the start that T1 really feels sore about. Because if it wasn't for dropping 0-5 right at the beginning of that first half, I think T1 could have already taken this map.
Here.
They made a good comeback. You're at the sort of stage now where you can stop thinking about the 5 in terms of more of a mental kind of thing. Like, yeah, it doesn't really matter in terms of that anymore. It has impacted the overall round score, which is why we're at 12 and 12, just due to the fact that Luminosity have a lot of padding in terms of the extra rounds. But this can go any other way. I don't look at that 0-5 and think that LG are very favored. I just think right now it is a bit of a 50-50.
And now in overtime, Luminosity is going to have maybe even just a long sigh of relief here, because you're not going to be likely going up against the double operator Odin setup anymore. So they had a hard time breaking through it near the late stages of regulation. Not going to be a consideration for the most part here, but they will start defensively on. Skadoodle looking to move forward to the middle of the map. Recon Bolt will free him to move a little bit further forward. Thief, though, still playing aggressive, has Stellar with him just over towards Tree, but this means that there is actually nobody on the site itself defensively for LG.
Another smoke does come down. A couple of smokes actually now. And I guess if you're Stellar, you're going to check this one through. They don't shoot the L drone. This is potentially baiting info. That being said, though, T1 are fairly committed over towards mid. Smoke dissipates. Thief is in a really good position to possibly get a kill if he wants to swing this one. They have no idea that Thief is there, and it is not smoked.
KZ, he might be able to wrap behind this. It's all about the timing of how he exits this dark cover. Skadoodle finds first blood and a second. Beautifully found for Ska. KZ is behind this hit. Snaps onto the first.
Left.
Knows the second sitting over to the B main, and that's Dazed who's there. Fault line will push him back. Spike's not on the site, by the way. AZK very fortunate to find another elimination, which gets Dazed into the site. So it's down to a 2v4. Stellar does have the paranoia still available. Uses it early, as they'll recontrol over towards the boathouse, and KZ is not sure if Dazed is still lurking over towards B main. Now feeling more confident, but Skadoodle on 3. Now just down to KZ. Can't match up versus AZK and T1. They strike first at over T.
I don't want to read into the
sides.
rounds too
Match
decisively here in terms of the fact that both teams have won 7-5 in the defensive halves, because I do think both teams are fairly even at this stage in the game. But if we want to look at that stat, 7-5 on their defensive half, you would gather that maybe slightly favored on both defenses. That does mean that T1 have already won their unfavored side for this OT. Now they're going towards their quote-unquote favored side, just based on the fact that there were 7-5s in here. T1 are maybe set up to get the 14-12.
And now Spider's going to trust in the operator defensively, and oh, what is this read? Misses the shot, but goodness, he almost had an opportunity there to find a very early first blood onto a major opponent of KZ. So still 5v5. Got to be careful of a player lurking mid-map, and that's going to be scouted out by Daze. Going to maybe go for the spam shots here. Ah, Proto. Once again caught in the bad side of a dart. So now 5v4 for T1, looking to send this to map 3.
Proto has to respect that. Why did he not move? He just stands there, gets killed. Maybe he doesn't expect that the Odin was purchased. Now that's a shot from Spider. You want to see Miss KZ early on. One missed that one. 5v3 now. One trade does come back. Very low in damage. Member onto AZK as well. Site has been taken by LG. The plant should come on through in T1. 4v3 on the retake.
And you got the Odin for the retake as well. AZK is tagged up pretty low, but again, you wait for the recon dart in 5 seconds. You get some good information. You can get a spam off with the Odin, maybe. Yes, indeed.
What?
Dazed for a second. Mata's not going to be happy about this one. Now a 2v4. And you have to be really careful if you're Thief in this position. Stellar, though, for 1. Hit with a snap. Oh, my goodness. Thief for a second. Now it's just down to 1 and a 2v4. Clutch up for LT to stay alive.
And Daze, you have to feel for T1 here, where Daze starts this thing off so well. He bowls it straight down the middle lane, gets most of the pins, but unfortunately it's a bit of a split for T1. They can't quite get the last 2 for the spare. And now we're going to head into a second round, a second phase of overtime. A kill onto a Proto straight away. One through the floorboards as well. I believe that one was onto Mata, and that is a 5-3 star. Yes, Spider did die, so it gets 4v3. But still rough for that one to slip away from T1.
They were in such a great spot. So now it's back to even. Scott, once again, threatening mid-map. Trying to push forward. Recon bolt not here yet. That's what they used last time around, and KZ is just trying to find an angle on somebody. But Ska again has found first blood, this time on the Thief. Spider here with them. Dave's following up behind. Will be making the play over towards B main.
It's up to Mata.
And it's going to be up to Mata, yep. Last one on KZ. He's able to find one. That's not terrible, but would have loved to have found more. Mata's location revealed. On the rotation, Stellar's already here. You're waiting for one more to get here. That's Proto. But T1 have not fully committed to getting on the site yet. This is giving an opportunity for LG to maybe bounce back a couple of kills, but Sky will find his third in the round, working at a potential ace. There's the fourth. Last one left will be Proto, and he'll immediately go to the Blade Storm.
Rough day for Proto. He has to find 4 kills somehow. Scar wants the ace. He's got the Blade Storm available. Finding an ultimate and OT. Just going to back away, showing a little bit of respect, allowing a Proto to come to them. A Proto's in such a rough spot, has to cover multiple angles. And Spider, from the left side of things, on towards the lane. Take him down. T1
Switching
once
sides.
again on map point
Match point.
14-13, looking for the 15 now. And we re-enter the conversation again. I think both teams roughly favor the defensive side. Again, don't want to read too heavily into it. However, you look at what T1 can do in the defense. They do snipe. Days will go towards Odin. This Odin picked up a number of kills in that previous round of OT on that defense. Thinking about it, and decides to go away. It's 5 rifles, and this time no Odin or Operator.
How big has Skadoodle been? In these last handful of rounds with first blood. Here's an aggressive play again from Scott, but this time the flash will be shrugged off and Mata will find the kill. Although Mata tagged up pretty heavily. Don't you speak that into the universe, Avril. And Thief will try to make a play over towards trees. The middle of the map is completely in possession of LG.
Mata is tagged up though. But there's no information now for T1. They have completely backed out of sight itself. AZK might be in position to see something. He'll certainly see the util. That's going to be a kill. Swings wide. Flash now to confirm the next one. Great couple of threes. 4 can't get the ace, but it might not matter. LG 1 left. This might be it.
How's he done that? He spams through and gets a collide. It looked like onto 1. And the last 2 to come through, no problem. So now it's just down to Proto 1v3 to send it to another set of overtime.
They'll let him
Or
plant.
we go to split, and yeah, you're absolutely right. There's no reason to not let him plant. And now that they get the information off of this, Brax is going to hold the camera, try to get the tag off. We'll actually miss the dart, but Proto will actually get out. There's an opportunity for him. If he can maybe find the first above him, there would be a chance for him to hold this against the force of the front hit coming from the last 2 members.
They're even going to drone him out. There's so much util available. This is the problem. LG can't hold on because the util there. A Proto desperately needs a 1v1. Can't get it. Brax will clean it up. Can't hit the shot on the tracking dart. Doesn't matter. Hits the headshot onto the Phantom, the more important. And the 15-13 T1 move on to the next map. Don't get too excited about
Careful there,
the
Avril.
2-0. We were nearly thinking about it, but no. T1 move on to map 3. That's what we're talking about here.
We've been here for a minute, but we've got more to go. One more map to determine who gets into the round of 8 tomorrow. T1 and LG in a good one. The first map, a little bit more convincing for the side of Luminosity. And the first 5 rounds in this map on Ascent, we were thinking that, okay, T1 is looking like they are down and out, but they looked great in the back half, really, of that first half, and then started off the second half to a really great stride as well. So it'll be split coming up next year, Avril, and we'll take a much-needed reprieve as we get the lobby set up for you guys. We'll jump into this third map right after this break.